Hello everyone. In this video I will talk about this iconic Marantz 8B power amplifier, vintage tube power amplifier. This video will be divided in two parts. The first, I will talk about the restoration that I performed deeply. I will show you what's underneath, what work that I perform on it, and the second part, it will be just a listening session. So if you are not a technical person, you just want to listen how it sounds, have just an idea how it sounds. Of course, I'm aware YouTube is not the perfect way to show. You can just jump ahead to the listening session. This particular piece is available for sale, so if you are interested, just drop something in the comments under this video and let me know if you are interested. Yeah, let's start with the restoration part. Let's take a look underneath. Here you can see all the components and the main power supply. Electrolytic capacitors have been replaced. Here you can see Nippon Chemicon, F&T, tube amp doctor, so really high quality electrolytics. Of course, the one that you see on the other side, they are just for the visual purposes. Here you can see the main power wiring. Here in this part, I reconfigured the original multi-voltage power transformer for 200 volts operation. Here you can see the wiring. For this Marantz, which is really unusual, fortunately Marantz used a universal transformer, so this could be done without any modifications, without any, I didn't have to change the original transformer, so it's great. Here you can see the main rectifier diodes. Here the biased supply section, new electrolytics, and also here a new diode. On this side you can see all the film capacitors were replaced. This particular piece was heavily modified, so my main job was to bring this to the original schematic condition, and it required a really careful job, and it was basically a lot of work because many components were used here didn't match the schematic at all. Some were missing, some were different. Anyways, for the film capacitors, as you can see, I mainly use Vima MKP10. Also, those are polyester capacitors. Very good, I have very good experience with them. Here on the negative feedback you can see a lot of new parts. For example, this mica capacitors, this resistor. For the resistors, as you can see, I use Kivame resistor and metal film, low noise, especially made for audio, and V-shape Beischlag resistors. Those are Panasonic, I believe FM or FC cap, I don't remember, I would have to look. Those little ceramic caps were missing, so I had to add them. In general, a lot of careful work, and now this amp works as it was made, and it was designed, and it's absolutely stunning. Let's take a closer look at the front of the amplifier. Here the input stage uses a matched pair of GA6BH6 new old stock tubes. They have been tested and they measured exceptionally well. Here the driver tubes, those are also in very good condition, measuring around 75 to 80% of their original emission. Unfortunately, I couldn't identify the manufacturer as they only have some Asian markings, so they are most likely of Japanese or Chinese origin. But what matters the most is that they are still working perfectly. Here a closer look to these markings on the tube. If anybody knows the origin of this tube or the brand, I would be grateful if you share. The output stage is fitted with a matched quad of JJEL34-2 tubes. These are improved second generation of JJEL34s. Those are not, those are quite standard tubes, but they are reliable, and most importantly, they sound quite beautifully. You may also notice I labeled them so they match their position. Why I did that? Because I set the bias not using this. This of course works, and it works quite well, but I set the bias underneath using measuring equipment, so they don't run too hot. I think this is better when you use new old stock, old production EL 34s. This, in my experience, basically what I measured, if I set the bias here at the point that those run too hot. Now they are set around 65% of the power, so I think it's for the beautiful sound it's enough, and also it will ensure that they last long. Also, one thing to notice is that this piece preserved the set of the locking nuts for the bias adjustment. When you look at the pictures over the internet or the pieces to sell, those are very often lost over the years, so it's great that this amplifier has them. And just some visual close-up. Now let's take a look at the rear panel. The amplifier still has its original power cord, and it has the original American plug. I decided to keep it this way because it allows the amplifier to be used together with an original Marantz 7 preamplifier, just as it was intended. If requested, I can replace it with a modern 3-wire grounded power cord. Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is that the Marantz 8B does not have a power switch. As soon as it's plugged into the mains, it will just turn on. For everyday use, I would recommend using a switched power strip. It's also possible to install a power switch on the rear panel, but I didn't do it intentionally because the main thing is to preserve the amplifier's collector value, and it's basically my priority. If I would install a power switch, I would definitely remove this fuse holder, install a fuse holder inside, and then using the hole here I would fit the power switch here, so I would not have to drill any hole in the chassis. It would be a not good idea. The original speaker binding post has been preserved, as also the original RCA sockets. Those are slightly, I think, smaller than many modern connectors, so it's important to make sure that the plug fits here tightly, otherwise it can result in some unwanted hum. There's one little thing worth mentioning here, just a little bit of plastic here. It's slightly chipped. This happens quite often, as I see on the internet, on the pictures, but doesn't affect any functionality. It's good to use a proper tool for the screws here. Those are, I'm not sure if they are copper. They are quite soft, so if you use the wrong tool, it can result of doing something like this, which is not nice. this was here, those are of course the same, so I just remove exchange them basically. Those looks unused, so, and this one is also in looks a little bit used, but those two, it looks unused, so you have some spare, but it's good to use a proper tool for the speakers. As a small bonus, the amplifier comes with a custom-made pair of speaker cables. Each cable is made of a high quality 2.5 square meters OFC copper conductors, and it is 2.5 meters long. On the amplifier end, they are terminated with tined copper spade connectors, while the speaker end is fitted with high quality banana plugs, and they will be included with the amplifier, just so that you don't have to look and crimp those connectors by yourself. It's, I think, the very most convenient way to connect the speaker cable to the original binding post. I've connected the Marantz to my speakers. I didn't place it on my cabinet because basically this one is very heavy and my cabinet isn't so strong. It's, I think for leak it's enough, but for this beef I'm worried, so it stands here. Yeah, the speaker cables I already showed you, so now we'll listen. My setup is quite usual. It's usually the cable mess. In the music will go from Apple Music to RME. RME will also capture the sound from the mics. And those are the mics. Hope you will enjoy the sound sample. Now it's time to turn the amp on and leave it maybe for 20 minutes until it warms up. Alright guys, the amplifier is fully warmed up and ready to perform. I hope you'll enjoy listening to this wonderful Marantz ADB. Let's begin.
You remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while among the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you don't know why I didn't come. I don't know why I didn't come. When I saw the break of day, I wish that I could fly away. Instead of kneeling in the sand, catching teardrops in my hand, my heart is drenched in wine. You'll be on my mind forever. Out across the endless sea.第三的路边开满了花，它为何这样充满着忧伤？似进入冬眠，等待回暖，可不可以这样想？昨天的事情就忘了吧，用低成语作为回答，是有些颠簸，是有些怕，用力向你跑去，落地再说吧。缓缓伸手，回到那个地方。
Have been struck between the satin bulls and their bells. Prehistoric garbage trucks have the city to themselves. echoes and roars, dinosaurs. They all doing a monster mash. And most of the taxis, most of the hoes are only taking calls for cash. I don't know how it happened. It all took place so quick. But all I can do is hand it to you and your latest trick.
Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, both the restoration and listening parts. If you are interested in vintage tube amplifiers or vintage audio equipment, just consider to subscribe to my channel so you will not miss out any further videos. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. See you next time.